Hello, I'm Marcus Boston. Quick video today, and we're going to talk about, as one person put it, unlocking the mystery surrounding how to pay for or the costs of a birth injury or a birth trauma investigation. All right, so the reason that I'm shooting this video is because sometimes when we have individuals who contact us, there's a lot of confusion as to this process. There's a lot of confusion as to, okay, well, do I have to pay if I want an attorney to help me try to figure out what happened to my baby during labor and delivery? Do I have to pay out of pocket immediately? If I do, what are the costs? Do the attorneys work on an hourly wage? How does all of that work? And so I'm going to try to help you get some guidance as to this issue. Now, the way I'm explaining this is going to be general in nature, and it's also going to be tailored towards how we do it here at my firm. All right, so that's what I want to make sure that you understand, that and that you got to remember that other attorneys, they may do it a little bit different, or they may go in a different direction, but hopefully at the conclusion of this video you'll have a good starting point, or you'll have some questions that you think that if you want to speak to someone else about it, you'll have some questions and you'll kind of have a good feeling as to these things. All right, so first of all, when we're talking about an investigation, why are we even talking about an investigation in the context of a birth trauma or a birth injury claim? And the reason, like I like to say, an investigation, or you should do an investigation first, is because coming out of the box, or when we initially see these types of cases, you can't say one way or the other. You can't say definitively whether something happened during labor and delivery, and that because something happened, in other words, you got a bad result, that's always going to mean that the doctors or the nurses did something wrong. Under Maryland law, that is just not the case. A bad result does not mean medical malpractice, and so you have to understand that. And the law places certain requirements in these types of cases, and I've talked about this before, but just really quick, you have to be able to prove through the use of medical experts and testimony that the treating doctors, that something happened during labor and delivery, and during that process, the medical professionals, the doctors or the nurses, they fell below the standard of care that was owed to you and to your baby. And by falling below that standard of care, this is why your child has suffered an injury. And normally when we're talking about birth trauma or birth injury types of cases, the ones that we handle, it is usually a brain injury, HIE, or maybe a subsequent cerebral palsy diagnosis or something like that. So you've got to have these medical experts that are going to look at the fetal heart strips. They're going to look at any type of brain scans and things like that. They're going to look at the medical records. How did mom present to the hospital? They're going to look to see was meconium present, and all of these things. So when we're talking about all of this that's going on the front end, you want to be able to investigate this claim. You want to be able to see whether that there was a deviation from that standard of care, and whether that deviation is what has caused the injury or the harm. And so for my firm, how we do it is, initially, we're not going to charge you to do that investigation at the front end, because we've got to do it anyway to get the case, to be able to help you understand whether we think you have a good case or not. So for us, we're not charging to do that initial investigation. So to review medical records or to talk with you about what's going on, we are not going to charge when it comes to that. Now, let's say, we're going to move a little bit further, but let's say that, okay, this is something that we think that we can help you with, and now you're concerned about, okay, well, how do I pay for that? Well, there is a contingency fee agreement. There's this thing called a contingency fee agreement, and a lot of attorneys, they use these, and what that means is that it's going to be an agreement, it's going to be in writing, it's going to have the terms and everything like that, and the simple aspect of it, or to break it down in a really easy way to understand, is what it means is that an attorney like myself, I will take the legal fee and the cost, I will take these things out of the negotiated amount that we've agreed upon, if there is a settlement, if the case settles, or if there is a jury verdict and you win the case and then the jury gives a number. That is how we would be able to to pay for the legal fee and for the costs associated with the case. So that contingency fee agreement, that is also a really important thing to understand. Now, remember, like I said, this is kind of general information that I'm giving you, and hopefully it'll help you understand a lot of this process, because we do have individuals, they hear me talk about, well, an investigation, how do we get this investigation started, or how do you pay for it, or things like that. So I'm shooting this video to help you understand this process. Now, like I said earlier, you want to make sure that when you talk to attorneys, you want to make sure that you understand how are they going to handle these things. Are they going to make you pay for an investigation, or are they going to make you pay out of pocket for costs immediately, or is it contingent upon you either winning your case or getting a settlement? You just want to make sure that you understand these things, because they are very important, and not every attorney may do it the way I'm talking about, but I'm just trying to help you get an understanding of how some attorneys handle these cases. If you want to speak with me further, I know we're talking a little bit about it on this video, but if you want to talk with me further about what's going on, maybe you are here and you're looking for an investigation as to what happened with your baby. You're here because maybe your baby has an HIE diagnosis, or a CP, a cerebral palsy diagnosis, or there was some other type of injury that happened to your child during labor and delivery, in your opinion, and you think that you want to speak with someone about those challenges moving forward with your child. If you've got that going on, this is what I invite you to do. There's a telephone number on the screen below, telephone number. Go ahead and pick up the phone and call me. I talk with families all the time about birth injury and birth trauma. This is what we do. And so I'll be happy to speak with you about what you have going on. Now, remember, if you are contacting me because this video is on the internet and you are not in the state of Maryland, I practice law in the state of Maryland. If you're not in Maryland and you contact me about a birth trauma case, what we have to do is, if this is something that we think we can assist you with, we have to use local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state, to be able to help push the case forward, or to be able to go forward with the case. So I want to make sure that you understand that local counsel aspect of things if you are picking up the phone and you're calling me and you are not in Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here at Boston Law Group, LLC, practicing in the state of Maryland. We will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.